All right. Hey, how's it, everybody? It is right around 5 p.m. West Coast time. I'm going to call it 3 p.m. Hawaii time. Yeah, 3 p.m. Hawaii time, 8 p.m. on the East Coast, and 7 p.m. for our Central Time, folk. I am Mad Statter. This is Chatter with Statter, and it is November 13th, middle of November, on our way to Thanksgiving time for the United States, as it were. And I know that during this time, well, actually, not even Thanksgiving time, I guess we're starting kind of the holiday season. I know in Canada, all y'all had your Thanksgiving at the logical time of year, early in October when you harvest stuff. Yeah, that makes way more sense. But, we do things our own way up here or down here. And yeah, so Thanksgiving's coming up eventually. I don't know. Definitely not this. It's not this Thursday, right? It's not this Thursday. Maybe next Thursday, maybe the Thursday after. Actually, I have no idea. I don't know. But I do know that Thanksgiving or not, we've still got the other holidays coming in on December, which means we've got lots of food that we'll be preparing for. And today, oh my God, today, you're not going to believe it. We're going to talk a little bit about food. But before we talk about food, I want to say aloha to everybody. And it looks like we might have had some raiders coming in. Terry in Scotland, I think, might have been raiding. Indeedly do. Yes, indeed. Rick, Terry in Scotland came in with a party with Pinnell and Katie Zora. I'm thinking, but I'm not sure because I just scrolled all the way to the top of the chat to say hello to everybody who's here so far. Right now, I'm looking at Rick. He subscribed for 30. Rick, not only did he go up north to scrub down his cabin and get it all organized for winter, yeah, he also sub-scrubbed for 38 months here at Chatter with Statter. Good to see you, Rick. Glad you are back safe in town. And then Terry came in with his raiding party of 3. Katie's Aura, Terry in Scotland, and Pinnell writes things. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much. And then we've got Darlene coming in with saying hello. And Pinnell saying hi to everybody's. And so it looks like we've got... All right, that's who we've got. Exactly. And yes, we are flying sans one moderator, but that's okay because we've got Rick with the Sword of No Mercy at our service. And even though Rick is, even if Rick were away north, sometimes I feel safe and secure even without mods because that's how awesome we are here. And, Pacola T here. I see you, Pacola T. Lur Queen on mute. And thanks to Pacola T, we have a quick little video that we'll be watching and then talking about all the yummy stuff within that video. It's a quick little video. And of course, yes, it's may or may not be food oriented, but yeah, it is. It is food oriented. All right, then. So now that we've got folks coming in saying hello, etc., why don't we get the party started, shall we? Let's do it. All right, so speaking of black cats, as we sort of were, not really, but black cat at the end of that little scene, brings me to black cat in my house, which would be which black cat? Dusty Black Cat. So, the last couple months, Dusty has been acting a little bit strange, very food forward, I wouldn't say aggressive, but basically food wanting, just food obsessed. And, he's 9-10-year-old cat, so it's like, okay, that's weird. I wonder what's going on. Is something going on with this thyroid? But I also know that he hunts things, which means there could be a parasite. And I also know that occasionally he comes home smelling like expensive men's cologne. Or rather, a man's expensive cologne. And so he's got another house. Clearly, he has another house. And I do have to wonder, did the other household teach him bad habits? Because within the last couple months of him being very food forward and food obsessed, he's been jumping on my kitchen counters and getting into my stove and just like way more. And He's 10 years old. He's never done that before. My cats know better. I'm not saying that my cats don't go on the kitchen counter. I'm sure they do. But my cats know good enough. They know well enough not to do it in front of me. Which is all I can ask of a cat, okay? Just don't do it in front of me. Just humor me and follow the rules when I'm around. When I'm not around, you do you, boo. But when I'm around, at least just follow the rules, right? He has absolutely been ignoring the rules in front of me blatantly. Like, hi, I'm on the counter. Just sitting, watching you on the counter. Yeah, I see that you're trying to make food, but I'm here observing. I'm supervising you making food. And it's just like, this is so unacceptable on so many levels. So I eventually took him to the vet. I took him to the vet because it was like, something's going on here. And, Terry, I should go around the neighborhood sniffing out the Ghostly Party. Well, as it turns out, Terry, I'm going to have to, because I took him to the vet yesterday, and, oh, I know, this is why I don't go to vets, y'all. I went to the vet. Now, he hadn't been to the vet in a long time, so he needed a wellness check. Okay, so wellness check, 1 blood draw to see if he has hyperthyroidism, and one dose of flea meds, which the flea meds also kill the parasites, so the deworming flea meds. 1 dose. Does anyone want to guess how much that cost? Anyone? Bueller? Anyone want to guess how much that cost? Just anyone? Yeah, $332 is what that cost. And, yeah, 330, no, not 500, Pinnell, but 332, so might as well have been. And it's just like, and so it's like, all right, well, good for me. I did what I needed to do. I did what I needed to do. The vet called me, but just 20 minutes ago, to let me know the results. And as it turns out, not only is he not hyperthyroid, his thyroid is as normal can be. And on the low end of normal, actually. So he's not even borderline pushing, maybe we need to watch this kind of thing. So he's totally fine. So basically, the vet is like, it's either the parasite, which we've treated him for, or bingo, he has been given free reign of someone else's kitchen counters, and he has picked up some bad habits. So now that I know that there's nothing wrong with him, now the hammer's coming down. Because I've been just sort of like pushing him off, scolding him, reminding him of the rules, but now, oh no, baby doll. Now the hammer's coming down. He's going to get water. He's going to get flicked on the thing. I'm not going to hurt him, but he is going to get way more physical reprimands. Because clearly he has just turned into a rude kitty. And that, my friends, is good news and bad news. I have a healthy cat who's very rude now. And on the opposite end of the spectrum, of the exact opposite side of the coin, and Puzzycat, if you're here listening, this is sort of for you, but it's also for everybody. I'm very worried about Leo. For those of you who don't know, Leo is a stray cat who has adopted me, and I have not seen Leo in well over a month. And normally when I don't see Leo, it's not a big deal because I know that even if I haven't seen him, I have evidence that he's been around. He has stopped coming to my house for food. I am not going through food nearly as fast as I used to. Hey Gina, good to see ya. I'm giving a little update on my kitties. Dusty is healthy but rude. Leo, who was one of the most polite kitties, is still one of the most polite kitties for all I know. Because he is a very polite kitty. Not rude at all. Unlike my cat, who has developed a case of the rudes. Leo, very, very polite to me and to the fellow kitties. Unfortunately, I haven't seen him, and like I said, I'm not going through food nearly as fast as I used to. Like considerably slower. And so I'm in fact, I was wondering if for a minute I was thinking, oh no, Dusty's got problems and he's stopped eating the kibble. But then I put two and two together and I realized, no, I just haven't, I haven't seen Leo, and I don't, and Leo used to eat, Leo's gonna be back. But when Leo visits, I'm gonna be happy about this and confident and optimistic. When Leo visits, he eats out of the dish a very specific way. And I know I'm a weirdo to notice this, but he leaves evidence that he was there. And I haven't seen his little dish divot where he eats from the dish from in a while. So, I hope, Darlene, he's got a new lady friend. Let's just hope so. Another thing that I hope, and this has happened to me before with another cat that had semi-adopted me and then disappeared for quite some time, like over a year actually. But then he came back and he was a trap, neuter, return cat. So I'm hoping that either Leo is on the prowl and found a new crazy cat lady near one of his girlfriends, or I'm hoping that perhaps he got trapped and he's going to be a new trap, neuter, and return, and I will see him again one day. Because I don't know if you remember tales of another kitty I've had called Big Poppy, but Big Poppy was the silver tabby that lived at my house before Leo came about. And Big Poppy was also a trap, neuter, return. That prior to getting trapped, neuters, and returned, he wanted to be here. Then he disappeared for about a year, and then came back ready to be adopted by me. Rick, trapped, neutered, and returned. That's what it's TNR. That is what people do with feral cats that are maybe a little bit too wild to be adopted. Rather than letting them roam free and having baby after baby after baby, they've found that if you take a certain tomcat if you take like the top level tom out of his neighborhood, and go adopt him someplace else, take him off the street, that doesn't help control the cat population, because a new tomcat will just come in and take over the cat colony that the other tomcat had and continue propagating the babies, etc. So they found that with tomcats that are particularly buff and top of the hierarchy, the best bet is to trap them, alter them so they can't make any more babies, but then return them back to the block so they can be their badass selves to keep the other unneutered toms in check and out of the area. And also, they do this with the doms as well, the female cats. They trap, and if they're too feral to be adopted out, they'll clip their ear and bring them back onto the street. If any of you are watching Photo Luke Hawaii's new new cat channel, I can't remember what it's called, but he's got a new kitty cat channel, and you'll notice that some of his cats have little notches in their ears, and that means that they are a trap, neuter, and return, trap, neuter, and release. It used to be referred to as trap, neuter, and release, but now but return, they use that word now because you're not just putting them back out into the wild anywhere, you're actually returning them to their territory to be returned to. So every cat that is trapped for this project, they notate exactly what colony and where that colony is located, that cat was from, so it'll eventually be returned back to the proper neighborhood. And so, Terry, you mistakenly volunteered for TNR once. Oh well, no regrets. There you go, exactly. And yeah, Darlene, Big Poppy was such a big personality. He was such a big part of my household for a few years, so of course, of course, I've got plenty stories about Big Poppy. And let's see here. But Darlene, you said something that I didn't touch on, but now I'm going back. Okay, Darlene, speaking of food, because we're changing the subject back, I tried out a new recipe for red lentil herb crackers. It turned out okay, but was so putzy to make. Not sure if the work was worth it. I am interested in that recipe, though, Darlene, if you want to post it to the Discord, because gluten-free crackers are so just not satisfying. I can't find any that are really, and so the red lentil, that might be nice. That might be nice. And then let's see here, back to the cats. They can still function, but no baby making capabilities. Exactly. And yes, can be returned, like you say, to their area. The group doesn't go into repositioning hierarchy. Yeah, that is basically the logic behind it. And then also, of course, if a female cat from the colony gets trapped and she's pregnant, well, then they keep those cats through their pregnancy, and they make sure those kittens get enough human contact that the kittens will be able to be adopted out to people and off of the street. The mom, however, if she remains super feral, obviously they're going to just have to bring her back to the neighborhood in which she came from. But ultimately, with trap, neuter, and return programs, the idea is to get the cats off the street if can. But some cats just aren't really readily adoptable. And those are the cats that are going to go back onto the street, but without the capability of making more babies for the street, so to speak. And speaking of little pets and babies, I mean, I guess it's not really a baby, but I did hear from Puzzycat today via an email. And just so you guys know, Kylo, Puzzycat's beautiful, beautiful dog, Kylo was running in the backyard the other day and he sprained his ankle. And so now Kylo's just laying there with a little sprainy ankle. He's all habut. He's getting better, but he's not allowed to run in the backyard right now. So he just gets to lay around. And that's what's going on with Kylo. And also, speaking of trying to get better and just laying around, apparently Puzzycat messed up his back, which is part of the reason why he's just been hanging and lurking. And so not only is Kylo healing up, it sounds like Mr. Puzzycat's healing up as well. So I don't know if they're lurking in the background listening or if they're going to catch this live stream later, but just wanted to give everybody updates on our Puzzycat and the poor puppy that our Puzzycat has. But they are alive, they're kicking it, and one day Kylo will be good enough to run around the backyard, and I'm sure that Puzzycat will be good enough to be out there with him. So that is the news for some of those people. Now I want to say, hey, Mama Sean, good to see you. Welcome on in. Hey, C Honda, happy to have you here. Good to see you today. And let's see here. Did anybody else come in while I was gone? And I don't think so. Yeah, actually, Pinnell, good point. Some cats become barn cats too. Yeah, the ones that are like semi-adoptable-ish, and if they can find a barn for them. Yeah, in fact, actually, speaking of Big Poppy, that's, I think, what ended up happening to him. I had to... God, I hate this so much. I had to give him up because I didn't have the $1,500 to fix his teeth, and he was really sick and he was gonna die if they didn't get fixed. I mean, he was already dying on my back porch, and I had to give him up to the shelter, and they said they could fix him, but I wasn't gonna get him back. And so they did say that given his history as a trap neuter return and the likelihood that he might not get adopted into a house, they said that they have a barn cat program for them. So so I think that's what happened to Big Poppy. I hope. I didn't mean to do that. Sorry, guys. Anyway, so and let's see here. So what can we do to change that subject? Oh, I know what we can do. We can go to the video that and let's see here. Trail Dust. Oh, hey, Trail Dust is here. You have a retired barn cat. Did you mess up your lurking? Yep, you did, to call out your barn cat. So, hey, Trail Dust, what's your barn cat's name? And how did the barn cat find you? Or is it just your barn cat and he's just retired because he's been your barn cat forever and now he lets the others? So, let's see here. Yeah, Facola D, thank you. In fact, yeah, and speaking of aminals, aloha, Teeter. I don't know if you can hear us, but aloha. All right, so this is the video that Facola T sent us, and honestly, I meant to write it down, but I forgot. But for real, y'all, there's a restaurant in Kaneohe. I'm gonna go look up the name that Facola T dropped when she gave us this video. But for real, y'all, if you are ever on Oahu and you want the real deal dumpling, you want to go to a place that you know hand makes their dumplings, this is where you need to go. So check this out. Full on, in the middle of the restaurant, at an empty table, staff has to make more dumplings. That's cool. We can do that. And, oh, the cat is named Malo because she is white with tan points, like a little roasted marshmallow. Yum. Okay, and so, Facola T coming in. The new Mui Kwai in Kaneohe. This lady's skills are like poetry in motion. For real, you guys, let's just watch. In the time that it took to make those 3 dumplings, I would have still been fiddling with one wrapper. I would have been confused if I had too much meat. I don't even know. All I know is let's see here. The new Mui Kwai in Kaneohe are absolutely what you want. And okay, so they go into the deep fryer and they come out golden delicious. They're called Gaoji. Now, Facola T, what kind of dumpling are they? I understand Gaoji, but I just literally recently learned that, like, all the different stuff, like, you know, you've got your pot stickers, you've got your gyoza, you've got your mandu, you've got your one other one that I can't remember, so I'm not going to tell you. Like, all of these are basically the same thing, only they're the different ethnicities version. It's like mandu is the Korean kind of pot sticker. The gyoza is the Japanese kind of pot sticker. The pot sticker / one other name that I don't know, which maybe it's Gaoji now that I think about it, is the Chinese version. So what I'm asking Patula T is, do you know, is this Chinese food? Is this Vietnamese dumpling? Is this Korean dumpling? Or whatever? And same as wontons, just filled with pork and veg. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, she's totally had years of practice to make it look effortless. Yeah, she's like a well-oiled machine. It is just incredible. Because normally, you know, when you're making a bunch of dumplings, it's actually like a multiple person affair because it's a timely thing to do, right? And, but good flippin' Lord Almighty, man. She could do 100 in less than an hour, I'm sure. And right, so Penel, momos are the Tibetan ones, right? So they're each called something different. And so I wonder if Gaoji, you know what? I'd be willing to bet that Gaoji is the real name of what we call pot stickers, which is the Chinese version of gyoza, which is the Japanese version of the pot sticker, and the Korean is the mandu. But yeah, I didn't realize that mandu, like they were all the same thing, but just the different ethnicities, versions of them. And so they're all a little bit different, but they're basically the same thing. And let's see here. Yeah, that lady, yeah, I noticed that she was watching a video on her cell phone, but yeah, I didn't realize that she was also answering questions from the back of the kitchen. Yeah, well, because it's just, it must be just all muscle memory. I mean, she doesn't even have to, she knows from the weight of it if she got too much or too little filling. She like she doesn't even have to look, I bet, at all. It's, yeah. And right, I bet, Darlene, your grandma was like that making pierogi. Right, it just becomes, your fingers just start flying and you're just, yeah, you know, I don't know if I can do much like that. I mean, I guess I can type like that, but even still, I can't answer other people's questions and type at the same time. That doesn't work. Yeah, so either way, I was very much impressed with that little display of talent, as it were. And but you know what though, I do have to wonder. All right, I'm going to do this, you guys. Oops. Well, that's not how you spell that. Okay, so no. All right, so no, Gaoji is actually a Hawaiian version of those types. All right, so see, all right, so here we go. Learn something new. So you've got pot sticker, you've got gyoza, you've got mandu, you've got Gaoji. All of these are basically the exact same thing, only different ethnicities, versions of them. And yes, no, let me rephrase it. Different cultures versions of them, because Hawaiian, in this sense, is not an ethnicity. It's just a culture with the food. All right, there we go. And let's see here, Picola T, if I had to choose a last meal, it would involve some kind of dumplings. I dare say, frankly, I could probably make a last meal out of all the dumplings. Soup dumplings, steamed dumplings, fried dumplings, deep fried dumplings, pan fried dumplings, boiled dumplings, potato dumplings, cheese dumplings, meat dumplings. I could actually have an entire last meal of just dumplings, and I would probably be fine with that. And I mean, technically speaking, if you really think about it, a ravioli is a dumpling of sorts, really. I know that an Italian person would probably take great offense to that, but the reality is pasta did come from China, and China was making dumplings, which is stuffing wrapped in pasta dough before Italy ever thought of making its first ravioli. So, you know, but you know, maybe that's just me. And let's see here. So, and Darlene, I was pretty good typing too, but because I haven't had to do it and being retired now, those skills have slackened. Yeah, I bet. And Trail Dust, totally bragging. I'm as smooth as silk like that too, as long as when I'm making a mess. Yes, it's just a natural gift. You got it. That, yeah. Well, and honestly, if I was making those dumplings, it would have been nothing but a mess. So, and it would have looked like it came naturally too. Absolutely. All right, so Let's see here. What are we gonna talk about until our Lono listening break? And so, yeah, China did pasta, yeah, first. So dumplings for sure. Honestly, yeah. And who is that chef? David Chang, I think, the guy who owns Momofuku. He did. There was a television show that he was on, and he and an Italian chef got into a little bit of an argument over whether or not ravioli, tortellini, the whole Italian dumpling thing, the whole Italian dumpling gang, whether or not they were actually of Chinese origin. And after the Italian guy made a whole bunch of the Chinese dumplings, he had to admit, okay, fine, they might actually be related. And see, Honda, you're right. Even messed up dumplings taste great fried. Exactly. You put them in that deep hot oil, everything. Even if the filling falls out, just the fried wonton skin tastes delicious. And yeah, Terry, I think that's what Pinnell was saying. The momos are from Nepal, and yeah, they are fancy. Yeah, absolutely fancy. And Pinnell, totally, watching raviolis be made, the hardest part was rolling out the dough perfectly. Yeah, because you got to get it really thin, because there's really, I mean, you want the pasta to have good mouthfeel, but you don't want the pasta to turn into a thick piece of chewing gum in your mouth. It's got to be thin enough to be luscious, but thick enough not to fall apart under the filling. And that's, yeah, I don't have confidence in my cooking skills to do that. I can honestly say I've made a lot of food, but I've never handmade pasta. I'm kind of scared of it. And, all right, Trail Desk, go wash that day job off of ye. You'll be back in a bit. Cool, you got 10 minutes till the Lono listening break, my friend. And, yeah, indeed, Terry, just about every country does make its own sort of dumplings. And Cola T says she's gonna be right back. But yeah, I think, yeah, I mean, you've got potato-filled dumplings, you've got cheese-filled dumplings, you've got vegetable-filled dumplings, you've got meat-filled dumplings, and, it seems like anything you can wrap in dough, a little delicious dough packet of wonderfulness. I mean, who doesn't love it? I don't know though if Native Americans have their version of dumplings traditionally, only because I don't think they used a lot of wheat, and it does sort of seem like wheat is a key ingredient to most of the dumpling skins. But I can very much say I don't know what I'm talking about there, and I would be very curious and hopeful for someone to prove me wrong on that. I would be very curious. And Indian samosas are pretty good potato dumplings. Yeah, they are, but I don't know if I'd call them the same thing as a dumpling, because that dough is a little thicker. I'd call a samosa more like a hand pie than a dumpling. A hand potato pie. But a pierogi, which does have potato in it, I would call that a dumpling. Does that make sense? And I could be wrong. Samosas totally could be considered a dumpling. That's a really interesting question, actually. Are samosas considered a dumpling? And Darlene, they did fry bread and protein more, right? Yes and no, actually, Darlene. Obviously, fry bread is a Native American tradition, but it's a new Native American tradition within the last 250 years. It's after the colonizations. When I talk about traditional Native food, I was actually referring to prior to them being forced onto reservations and given rations of flour and the like, when they were actually doing a more indigenous diet with their own ingredients from the lands of which they were, So, because, I mean, the traditional Native American diet for the Navajo Nation is a very different diet than the traditional Native American diet for, say, any Pacific Coast tribe or Salish Sea tribe. You've just got different ingredients. But I don't think that my point is, I don't think many of the tribes, no matter where they were from, had very much flour, processed wheat flour is what I mean. You can make flour out of anything. Wheat flour. I don't think they had a lot of wheat flour. And so, no, I don't think so, no. I don't, but right now, yeah, I'm sure they had some sort of like a tamale, that's got the corn, I have no doubt that they've used something like that, but when it comes to like a true dumpling of a dough of some sort, I mean, I guess a tamale would be, or tamale, I don't know how, anyway. Tamales would probably, I guess, be as close would get. Because masa is a dough, and it does wrap around a filling, and you do steam it, so that does, I guess that would be their dumpling, would be the tamales, right? Or stuff like that. Anyway, the reason why I'm giving you the nuance with the fry bread is, though fry bread, especially in the Navajo culture, actually is considered like a traditional native Navajo thing, they have just recently, so much so that it was part of the Miss Navajo contest. Like they had they still do actually. The Navajo Nation has sort of like a Miss America contest within their nation. And Miss Navajo Nation, the winner wins for that year. And it used to be, and she's judged on several categories, the ability to speak, some, dances, storytelling, cooking, blah, blah, blah. And one of the competitions they had was the fry bread competition. And because fry bread was so, Navajo tradition. In the last 5 years or so, they have removed the fry bread competition as part of the competition because they're like, you know what? Actually, it's not tradition. That was a tradition that was forced on us. And we're trying to reclaim our old ways. So we're trying to not use the ingredients that were rationed to us, the reservation ingredients, the commodity cheese, the flour, the lard, the whatever. We want to recreate our cuisine as it was in the before time. And so hence my wondering if their true traditional cuisine prior to colonization had a sort of dumpling, because as mentioned, almost every culture does have a dumpling, right? And so, yeah, exactly, Mama Sean. Wheat flour and powder milk were given to the reservations and resulted in fry bread. They ranch a lot of sheep, so mutton is big up there too. Right, but all of that was given to them after they were removed from their traditional, which that was what I was getting at with my hypothesis. That being said, I do wonder, once they did have the powdered milk and wheat flour, did they come up with a certain kind of dumpling that we're talking about? And then, right, exactly, Pinnell, corn flour dumplings. Well, that's kind of a tamale, isn't it? I think that's pretty much sort of what the definition of a dumpling is a dough wrapped around something and then cooked in some manner. Steamed and fried, boiled, whatever, right? So, I mean, I guess I'm posing the question for our culinary experts to argue over. Is a tamale a dumpling of sorts? I'm willing to argue it is. But I also know that, I don't know enough to know. Right, see, Mama Shah, they use mesquite beans for flour. That's why when I was referring to flour, then I stopped myself and I was like, wait, I actually mean wheat flour. Because yeah, you can make flour out of anything. I recently found out that you can literally make flour out of anything. You can dehydrate celery and make flour out of dehydrated celery. Who knew? Not me. And let's see here. Isn't that a problem? Like if black people got rid of soul food and replaced it with African food, but since we're disconnected from the larger African continental sense, we had to create diaspora food in the West. Well, yes. But luckily, yes, I would say it's a very similar situation, Andre, but I would also say there's some very important distinct differences. First off, though displaced from many of their natural homelands, the natives are still, some Native Americans are still located somewhat close to where they were from. And they still do have their family ties and the stories, many of the tribes do, whereas they were ripped, those populations were ripped from their land, but they weren't necessarily ripped from their people. African slaves were both ripped from their land and from their people, so they were robbed on a multitude of levels. I guess my point of this little train of thought is, I think that the native cultures have a little bit easier chance of reclaiming what was lost, but you're totally right. And in fact, this is exactly what Reservation Dogs is about, is so much of that knowledge and tradition has been lost that you quite literally are making it up recreating it in the future as best as can, even if it's woefully different than what it used to be. As I think we could see with some of the episodes of Reservation Dogs, when they were doing like the ceremony to get rid of the bad medicine, and they ended up singing a Tom Petty song. Just all of these ways of recreating, the best they know how. And let's see here. So hold on. Yeah, you can. Dude, lentils, Darlene. Lentils make good flour, from what I understand. And let's see here. Grape dumplings. Grape dumplings were traditionally made from the wild possum grapes that hung from vines and trees throughout the Chickasaw homeland of Mississippi. This traditional Chickasaw dish continues to be favored by many. Okay, but all right. So what? So Penel, they did have corn dumplings. Awesome. So, all right, there we go. All right, so my initial hesitancy to say that Native Americans didn't have them. All right, they did have dumplings. And I'm going to say that because Penel called them corn dumplings, I'm going to call them tamales. But then again, though, we could be talking about two different kind of dumplings now, y'all. Because now that I think about it, we've got chicken and dumplings here, but the dumplings here are just dough. Not dough wrapped around anything. So, oh my, I guess really the question here is, what is a dumpling, technically? And, right, yeah, exactly, Mama Sean. There's huge differences regionally. Precisely, yeah. I had a friend once tell me that all Native Americans worshipped the corn maiden, and I was like, oh no. Like, we didn't even have corn up in this state. Trust me, no, honey, no. I know you're from Southern California. I know, like, corn is a thing there, but not in the Pacific Northwest. We did not have a corn maiden. Oh, you're so cute. Yeah, definitely regional differences. And, okay, and then Mama Sean, right, tamales might be more of a hand pie. Right, which I feel like samosas are more of a hand pie than dumpling as well. And so then we get into that discussion, like, well, when does a dumpling stop being a dumpling and it starts being a hand pie? Because, you've got Cornish pasties, and Cornish pasties or Cornish pasties or however the flip you pronounce that, that's dough wrapped around filling as well, but that's a sandwich-like thing, and I would never call that a dumpling. So, Well, here we are talking about stuff that all of us know we don't know anything about. We are ignorant. And exactly, Darlene, good question. There are filled dumplings, of course, but what about the plain dumplings in soups not filled? Right, and so when I hear corn dumplings, suddenly I'm wondering, now wait, was it corn flour dumplings like just mixed in the soup to be little yummies? Or was it corn dough wrapping in something and then... Right. I don't know. And Penel, I think it might depend on the size as well. And then I guess the next question is, well, where does the size end? Because I do know that the Korean mandu are significantly larger than the typical gyoza or pot stickers. However, they are still considered dumplings. So all I know is we're 3 minutes past our Lono listening break. And so, right, like a corn fritter. Yeah, exactly. A dumpling. Is it a dumpling like a corn fritter? Or is a dumpling more like a wonton, for lack of a better thing? Okay, so tamales are dumplings, according to wherever it is that Andre pulled that from. So we have one answer. Tamales are considered dumplings by somebody. And they're made of corn flour with a filling of meat, vegetables, or dried fruit. Good tamales, exactly. Good tamales are light and fluffy in texture and a popular street food snack throughout Mexico. They're eaten from the early morning until late at night. Yep, there you go. Yes, hush puppies. That would be another example of perhaps a corn dumpling. And yeah, E-Music, I wish your Mexican grandparents were alive too, because they would probably know. And, I know exactly, right, Colty? Tamales. Yeah. I have a restaurant down the street that that has some pretty good looking tamales. And let's see here. What about Jamaican patties, hand pies? I think that I think that those are those I think are considered pies. And those I think are considered pies. And the reason why I think they're considered pies is because I happen to know that in Jamaica and other Caribbean countries, meat pies are very, very popular. So much so that there was a meme going around that had this little, oh, Andre, really? NPR had a debate on what is a dumpling? Oh, that's awesome. So you guys, our chat is NPR worthy. We're smart like that. We could be on NPR. Our topics are so intellectually stimulating. But no, to get back on the Jamaican hand pies. So there was this little meme that was going around, and it had this little like menu list. You know, it was like, in Jamaica, you can get one beef pie, for $2.50, one chicken pie for $2, or one, mutton pie for $1.50. On St. Vince, or in Barbados, a beef pie costs this, a steak and kidney pie costs this, a chicken pie costs this, and blah blah. And they listed all these islands in the Caribbean and all the costs of the different pies. And then at the bottom it said, and these are the pie rates of the Caribbean. I'm not gonna lie, you guys, I laughed so hard at that meme. I showed it to my coworkers. I shared it on my social media. I wish I had it now. It tickled my funny bone like nobody's business. I just absolutely, the pie rates of the Caribbean. I am easily amused. Yes, I am. But, all right, we are now way past our Lono listening break. So, as I've mentioned before, sometimes I try to tune in the Lono listening break with something that we've talked about on this stream. And so, today, our Lono listening break goes out to Kylo and Puzzycat. Kylo's favorite song is Ehele Pohaku, Traveling Rocks. So, you're going to listen to Traveling Rocks of Molokai. And then when we come back, we're going to either talk more about food, like this food, or we're going to talk about more about different food, like other food, because trust me, I have more food topics to talk about. Yeah, I do. So, but let's go listen to music first. All right, let's do it. Bye.
E hele pohaku, the traveling rocks of Molokai. Okay, sustain. Okay, Mo Mike. Key of A if you got him. Kaulana o Molokai ia hele pohaku mai waila ua wawa uluwehe Hana mene huni ke ia pola Haoli mene huni e mai a me ai One by one E hele pohaku to the other side E hele pohaku one by one E hele pohaku to the other side Pa 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 pohaku to the other side Kaulana o Molokai ia hele pohaku Mai waila ua wawa uluwehe Hana mene huni ke ia pola Haoli mene huni e mai a me ai One by one E hele pohaku to the other side E hele pohaku one by one E hele pohaku to the other side Pa 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 pohaku to the other side Iluna o mauna I ke mapule ma ke kai ku home Ili ili o pai ka hale ko inoa Hele aku ka ko e pohaku o wailau One by one E hele pohaku to the other side E hele pohaku one by one E hele pohaku to the other side Pa 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 pohaku to the other side O hele iluna o mauna I ke mapule ma ke kai ku home Ili ili o pai ka hale ko inoa Hele aku ka ko e pohaku o wailau One by one E hele pohaku to the other side E hele pohaku one by one E hele pohaku to the other side Pa 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 pohaku to the other side Ia mai ana kapuana Molokai ka o mea hele pohaku One by one Hele pohaku to the other side Hele pohaku one by one Hele pohaku to the other side Pa 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 pohaku to the other Let's go, Beriuni! Ia mai ana kapuana Molokai I ka o me ia hele pohaku One by one Hele pohaku to the other side Hele pohaku one by one Hele pohaku to the other side Pa 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 pohaku to the other side Traveling Rocks of Molokai. E hele po aku.
Right. Oops, hold on. There we go. Well, Puzzycat, I'm so glad to see you, and I know you said that you'd be lurking, but you also made it sound like maybe you would be catching it later on, so I wasn't sure if you were going to be at the live stream, but very glad you're here. I hope that Kylo didn't jump up and hurt his little paw. I hope that he's still good, even though he heard some Lono. Super stoked that you're here, and Verity, it looks like you're here too. Good to see you. And and for some reason, with everybody coming in like this, it reminds me, and I forgot to say this the last couple flippin' streams, and I feel like a jerk. There have been people who have sent me some things in the mail. I don't know whether or not you want to be mentioned, so I'm not mentioning you by name, but oh my god, dude. Oh my god. Super awesome. Super, super cool. Love what you sent. And the pen, and the sticker, and the everything. Also, there have been some people who have sent some things to my, or some donations to my PayPal account. And once again, I don't know whether or not y'all want to be named, but, so I'm not going to name you. But for those of you who have done that, once again, oh my god, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. You don't even know what a wonderful blessing and surprise it is to get the little notification that like someone's giving you $5 or someone's giving you more than $5, whatever, you know. And so thank you guys so much. I really, really appreciate it. It really does go to good things. And let's see here. Oh, I had something that you guys were talking about during the thing, and oh yes, eMusic. Lono sent t-shirts and lots of CDs to your favorite radio station. I think that's I don't know if you told Lono yourself, but I know that I told Lono what you told me about that DJ, and I had no idea that he was going to do that. He didn't tell me that he did that or whatever. I don't know if he did it because I told him about that DJ or if you told him about that DJ, but I love that he is showing love to people who are getting his music out. Because even though his music, most of it came out 20 plus years ago, it's still flippin' timeless. And so, I just, you know, I think that everyone should be able to listen to Lono, and every DJ that helps get that music out is good. Oh, you did? Okay, cool. Yes. Yeah, and I knew that I mentioned it too, so awesome. That makes me so happy to hear that he sent that out to her. And let's see here. As soon as he heard Lono, he was up. Oh, that's so cute. I hope, though, that he didn't hurt himself. I hope he didn't start running, chasing the invisible rocks that he loves to chase. And Andre, okay, 400 biddies. Thank you, Andre, so much. I'm glad that you got your settings set up right. I'm not really sure. Oh, so the cheer, but not the gift sub? I don't know. But see, Honda, oh my god, 300 biddies. Now we've got a hype train going on. Oh my goodness. And let's see here. You suggested buying them t-shirts, but he paid for everything. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. That totally sounds like something he would do. And I don't know if he I don't know if he's ordered new t-shirts or if I dreamt that he said he ordered new t-shirts. But I feel like he might be getting new t-shirts. But I might be lying, so don't take my word on that. But Andre, thank you for gifting sub to Scar, and it was your VPN that was messing stuff up. He did order new shirts. Okay, eMusic. All right, good. Because I was like, God, did I dream that he told me that? Or did he actually tell me that he did do that? So, okay, there we go. Good. I'm glad that he did, because for a while there, he was like, nope, I'm not doing t-shirts anymore. And people were asking for them. So it's like, why are you not doing them? If people are willing to give you, why are you not willing to get them? I don't understand, but good. I'm glad that he changed his mind on that. And I'm glad that I didn't just like make that up. So I'm so happy that the Statterbox crew can fact check so much stuff. Speaking of which, you guys, first off, Andre, thank you for that gift sub to Floppy Tog. But speaking of Andre, up on the chat, Andre did put a link down. It's an NPR link. The Great Dumpling Debate, What Makes the Cut. And so if you are curious to see what the discussion about what makes dumpling is, it apparently is at that link. Yes, indeed. Words they are hard, aren't they? Yes, they are. And Rick taking a guess at what radio station might have gotten those Lono shirts. And I don't know if that's right, but it could be. And let's see here. What else? All right. So, oh yes, Gina. Thank you so much. I totally forgot about that very important topic. I had gotten other stuff ready. Important topics like, how do you make your mashed potatoes? But before we discuss how do you make your mashed potatoes, we're going to discuss what do we want to watch on Saturday. That's right. What do we want to watch on Saturday? And E-Music, yeah, I was going to say, I thought that the one you mentioned to me wasn't up in Wisconsin. I thought it was, yeah, so I think that's the one I was talking about. Anyway, so, all right, you guys, this coming Saturday, we're actually going to watch an actual movie. All right. So, the movies that I've got on the list here are movies that, well, I don't know if you want to watch them. We'll see. So, our last votersons and the voters who voted, Waterworld was in the running, and a lot of people wanted to watch Waterworld. So Waterworld, once again, is on the list of options. So we've got Waterworld, but before you vote on Waterworld, let me get you all the other options, because we've got 5 options. We've got Waterworld. We've got Goodfellas. I don't know why, but suddenly I'm in the mood to watch Goodfellas. We've got Frida. That's about Frida Kahlo. We've got MASH, the original MASH. And we've got the Muppet movie. So we've got an Italian mobster film. We've got sort of a science fiction film. We've got a biography film. We've got a historical fiction film. And then we've got a funny Muppet movie. So, let's see here. Andre, you got a bunch of movies you need to pack up and send me? Yeah, well, now that we know how to break rules, I guess I'm up. I guess I'm up for that. And yeah, Andre, you just saw the OG MASH, and it's way meaner than the series. Way meaner than the series. Yeah, MASH. If you've never seen MASH the movie and you've only seen MASH the series, you will be like, whoa, dude, these are not the same characters. Because, yeah, the MASH movie is way meaner. Abso-flippin-lutely. And E-Music, you like the original Muppet movie? I do too. And so when I was coming up with this list and I was trying to round it out, I was like, okay, these movies are not funny or fluffy. We need to put a funny fluffy. We need to put a lighthearted something, right? You know? So, so we've got 1 vote for Frida, 1 vote for MASH, 1 vote for the Muppet movie, 1 vote for Waterworld, and then maybe a half a vote for a Waterworld, and then, and 2 votes for Frida. And thank you so much for getting Ivan up there. Oh, no, okay, that's great, but no, I'm trying to read the votes. Let's see here. Hold on. Let's see here. Yeah. And Andre, thank you so much for the 600 biddies. Super stoked. So, okay, so we've got... All right, we've got nothing for Goodfellas. That's fine. I can watch it on my own. No big deal. Yeah, MASH is a good one, for sure. MASH is awesome. Let me see here. Verity, you voted for Frida, though, but I'm going to put a half on MASH for you on that one as well. Because in my world, you can vote twice. It's okay. I mean, you're not going to be able to vote twice for the same thing. You can have this. We can have ranked ballot choices, ranked choice, whatever it's called, ranked choice voting. So, all right. So far we've got 1.5 people for Waterworld, 1.5 people for MASH, 2 people for Frida, and 1 person for the Muppet movie. So ponder on that for a little bit. And while we ponder on that for a little bit, we can then discuss important items like, Option says Muppet movie. See, I was kind of surprised. So Rick's choice is Waterworld first, then half MASH, and then half Muppet. I suppose actually third Muppet. All right. Okay, cool. And Option, you just did it just to mess things up. No, E-Music. Now we got 2 1/3 people for the Muppet movies. 2 1/3 people for the Muppet movies. And we did see the Muppet movie before, yes, whereas all these other ones we have not seen on the cinema. But I actually, as it turns out, seem to have a dearth of funny, fluffy movies. And so when I looked, I was like, wow, I'm going to have to go into what we've already seen in order to get the comedies out of here, because what I've got in my to be watched pile, not necessarily a lot of funny stuff. And I wanted something that was fluffier than these other choices that were very distinctly not fluffy. I mean, I guess Waterworld would be the next fluffiest one, and I'm really not sure that would count as fluffy at all. Oh, and by the way, Option, that's so right. Thank you, Gina. Welcome in. I'm so glad to see you there, Mr. Option. And so, Andre, are you voting for Frida then? Because it's the only one you haven't seen. I'll put you half down for Frida. How about that? So, all right. Fluffy, I want to go see Moana 2. I actually didn't realize that Moana 2 was coming out. Okay, yeah, you guys, let's talk about movies for a second, other than this movie topic. What is going on? I didn't know that Moana 2, a cartoon, was coming out. I thought that they were making a live action Moana. Are they doing that as well? Because I was at the bar the other night and I saw a commercial for Moana 2 for the first time. I mean, I don't have TV, so I don't get to see commercials. But, I mean, the commercials might have been out for months, y'all. I don't know. But first time I saw a commercial for Moana 2 was literally just the other night. And I was like, wait, what? I thought it was the live action one that was coming out next. But Option is saying they are filming the live action. And they were filming it. They were filming it yesterday. Just yesterday, though, right? Okay, so I didn't make that up about a live action Moana. All right. So at least sometimes I think things that exist. All right, good to know. And Darlene, I've only seen the advertisement for Moana 2 movie that's very soon to come out. Right, yeah, exactly. I'm assuming Moana 2 is probably going to come out around Thanksgiving, because they like to do those big holiday blockbuster releases. Obviously, I know nothing about that. Yeah, Option. Oh, I'm sure more than just yesterday. Yeah, me too. I was just giving you a hard time. And let's see here. Terry, Moana 2, also known as Vaiana 2 or Oceana 2 in some markets, is an upcoming American animated musical adventure produced by Walt Disney. Right, yeah, it's totally, I'm guessing it's coming out, Thanksgiving weekend or whatever. So yeah, I just had no idea that there was a cartoon one that was coming out. I just assumed the next Moana film that we'd be getting would be the live action one. I guess I was so confused when I saw that there was a cartoon one. But I will tell you this, I was very excited. Okay, November 27th, is that Thanksgiving? That's gotta be Thanksgiving, right? Right, yeah, that's the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, of course, yeah. So, yeah, that totally tracks, But I think this week, though, they're releasing, Wicked, and I am very excited about that. I probably am not excited enough to go to the theater for it, but I am very excited to see it. I don't know if y'all are familiar with the storyline behind Wicked or what Wicked is. I know that you might be familiar with the fact that it was a Broadway musical, is a Broadway musical, but it actually started as a book. And it was a book that was written about 100 years after The Wizard of Oz by a completely different author. But Wicked is the prequel to The Wizard of Oz. It's how you got to where we ended up with The Wizard of Oz. It's the life story of Glinda and the Wicked Witch of the West. And it's the history between the Wicked Witch of the East and the sisters, the Wicked Witch of the East and the West, their relationship, and their relationship with Glinda, because they all went to high school together. They all went to boarding school together. And so they but basically Wicked is the story of Elphaba. And Elphaba is the Wicked Witch of the West, the one who wants the ruby slippers, the one who can't touch water. And it's her story. And when you hear her side of the story, holy snit, y'all. Glinda is the evil one, and Dorothy is being used for a pawn of evil. Oh my. They absolutely turned the story. Wicked is such a great book. I've never seen the musical, obviously, but I am so excited to see the movie. And yeah, they're trying to do it, pair Wicked with Gladiator like Barbie and Oppenheimer, whatever. People can do that. Like I said, I'm not going to be going to the theater to see Wicked, but I am excited that they have finally made that movie. I had no idea. That that was even an idea in the works, let alone, reality. And let's see here. No, okay, yeah. Obviously, people are. See, I didn't know Pecola T. Wicked is a fantastic musical. You know, it's so funny, Pecola T. I was so confused and stunned when I heard that book was turned into a musical, and I was like, what on earth would make you want to turn Wicked into a musical? And as soon as I said that out loud, I was like, it's kind of what they did with The Wizard of Oz, isn't it? It was like, oh, yeah, I guess that makes sense. I guess that would turn... Oh, okay, all right. Make it a musical then. But I actually had no idea that I didn't know Wicked existed until I literally found out Moana 2 and Wicked existed on the same night at the same bar, I think in the same commercial break. So, I know nothing of the dolls. I know nothing of the thing. So it sounds like Terry is telling us, and everybody else already knew about it, Mattel embarrassed themselves by providing a link to a porn site on their Wicked doll packages. Panel coming in. Did you hear the funny news about the Wicked dolls packages having a porn site link on it? I gotta ask y'all. What I mean, what was this? What was the link? What I mean, okay, there's a lot of different, like, what was it? Wicked, like, how? I've got so many questions. Okay, first off, I'm assuming that the porn site had the word Wicked in it. Is that? Oh, it was supposed to be wickedmovie.com, not wicked.com. Rick, they kind of did for a second. I had so many thoughts. It was sort of a case of, it was a case of malfunctioning. Like, there was just too many things nothing could catch. The wheels were spinning. Nothing was catching. Nothing was gaining traction. Oh my goodness. Okay, and so now, knowing Right, yeah, exactly. C Honda, actually, yeah, good point. You probably should have prefaced that. Don't tap on that link, right? Where's Ken when you need him? Well, yeah, he's not on that Wicked site. That's decidedly not Ken. And given the fact that now I don't know because I haven't clicked on the link that C Honda does not want us to click on. And by the way, y'all, that isn't really like that's not a family-friendly safe. That probably shouldn't be up there. I probably maybe should. You know what? I think I'm gonna remove it maybe if I can. No, can I? No, I'm not gonna. No, don't pin the message. Don't pin the message. Oh, I can't. I'd have to mute you, and I don't want to mute you. I just want to make it go away. All right, that's fine. Yeah. Well, anyway, just don't click on that. But I know, right, Rick? I was trying to too, but I couldn't. And so, yeah, you didn't know it was a hot link. No, honey, don't even. This is so funny. Yeah, it's totally okay. Terry, thank you for deleting that. It's totally okay. It's on all the Barbie boxes already, I guess. True, but still, no need to pour fuel on that fire. But I am wondering, and I probably will not. I'm not going to do it here. I am curious as to what. I mean, okay, you know, there's porn sites, and then there's porn sites. And given the fact that it's Wicked, I have to wonder, like, just what kind of, like, I'm really trying not to say it, but are you picking up what I'm laying down? Like, there's porn, and then there's porn. And yeah, it's the real deal, but there's also flavors of the real deal that are more, flavorful, shall we say? Oh, wow. Okay, so, hey, Bray, good to see you. We are, well, okay, we were talking about books and musicals and Wicked, the Wicked music. We're talking about movies, actually. We were talking about cartoon movies like Moana 2. We were talking about Disney movies, and then we started talking about porn, mostly because apparently a Barbie box had a link to a porn site on it, and now I'm losing my mind. And Verity's like, Molly, are you okay? Yeah. Whips and right, yeah, exactly. That's what I was that's what I was thinking, was like, this isn't probably just any run-of-the-mill. This is probably a fetish or something a little more hardcore than the average naked boobies kind of thing. And according to Terry in Scotland, who, according to Option, is sounding a little too well informed, Wicked Pictures is an American independent pornographic studio headquartered in Canoga Park, California. Why, that doesn't surprise me at all. And trailed us. Maybe we should talk about bacon. Never a bad idea. For real, we this was a really wholesome show, y'all. Like, for about 40 minutes. No, 40, almost, and I can't even do math, you guys. For over an hour, we were good. We were good. And exactly, Buzzycat, how was this Barbie packaged? Well, Buzzycat, I can tell you pretty much wholeheartedly that if she was packaged like any other Barbie, she was tied down in her box. She was bound by her ankles and her wrists. Yeah, and wait, hold on. Yeah, all Barbies are Bondage Barbie in the box, actually. I mean, they are. I had to, I just had to bring that up. I'm sorry. Because anybody who's ever tried to get Barbie out of the box knows that it's really kind of a pain in the arse. Because she's generally tied down to that pink backing. But, Puzzy's like, bacon, please. Bacon, please. All right, we've got 7 minutes to tackle this controversial topic, and we are switching it up. That's true. Ken is tied up as well when you get him in the box. Yes. But yeah, exactly. We're a spicy bunch today. Blast the hanky, please. There you go. All right, well, what we're going to talk about something that is very bland and boring, but it's a staple for most tables. That's right. We touched on it earlier, and now we're going back to our safe space. Potatoes. We are not getting into hanky codes. We're getting into potatoes. Mashed potatoes. How do you make your mashed potatoes? I know, Mama Sean. I can't help it. When he asked how Barbie was packaged, I was just like, well, that seems a little too convenient to not let go. I mean, I had to tie it all together, as it were. And there you go, Bray, exactly. Potatoes is life, potatoes is love. I love potatoes too. And so, for those of you who make mashed potatoes, or for those of you who eat mashed potatoes, or for those of you who have parents and grandparents and everything, that make mashed potatoes for you, I'm just wondering, mostly for the people who make the mashed potatoes, how do you make your mashed potatoes? And Dollar Tree has bacon for $3 a pound every day. It seems a little ironic that Dollar Tree has $3 a pound bacon, but that's a good deal for bacon, though. That is a good deal. Totally. But earlier today, I read an article about the best way to cook mashed potatoes. And they tried a bunch of different ways. They tried a slow cooker, they tried the oven, and the oven was where they baked the potatoes first, and then they tried the stovetop where they boiled the potatoes in water and milk, stovetop where they just boiled them in water, Instapot where they, Instapotted them, and then they steamer basketed them. Oh, and then they microwaved them too. And, as it turns out, apparently, steamer basket gave the best results. So instead of boiling your potatoes, you steam them. And Darlene, yeah, boil the potatoes, drain, mash with butter, plenty of butter, a bit of milk or cream, salt, and pepper. That's the traditional way. And the person who did the experiment said that was like maybe an 8 out of 10 of her, 10 by 10 ranking. But apparently the steamer gave the best texture or whatever. However, excuse me. However, Bobby Flay has a recipe where he cooks/steams his potatoes in the milk that he will then use in the potatoes. And so that way you never drain any of the potato flavor in the cooking water, because the cooking water is the cooking milk, and the cooking milk eventually gets reincorporated back into the mashed potatoes. And the lady who did that particular experiment, when she cooked her stovetop potatoes, she cooked them in water and milk and then drained the water and milk. And she said that wasn't a good method at all. But I didn't understand why she drained. Like, I was always told if you're going to cook them in milk, you save the milk to use in the potato later on. And Picola Tea, do I peel the skins or do I leave them on? Both. It really depends on my mood. Sometimes when I'm looking for, obviously, the smoothest, creamiest, I peel them. But I actually do like a rustic mashed potato where the skins are on. And in fact, actually, not only do I like to have kind of a semi-lumpy skin-on mashed potato experience, occasionally I even throw in a carrot and mash up the carrot too. But Darlene coming in, exactly, ricer works great for mashed potatoes. If I want the fluffiest of the fluffy, the skinless with the ricer is the way to go. And let's see here. And yeah, Verity, interesting. Red potatoes boiled then smashed with heavy cream and Irish butter. Interesting. Now, I've always been told that red potatoes don't make very good mashed potatoes because they're too waxy. But I've never done them before, so I cannot speak to that. But it sounds like you've had great success. And then rice the potatoes. Yeah, you got to have a potato ricer, though, to do that. And I don't have one. It's one of the few things that, one of the few kitchen utensils that I'm still on the hunt for. But they're kind of expensive, and so I want to get one used because I'm cheap like that. And yes, Puzzy, I saw the 2-minute mark, but we're talking about taters, so we might have to go 1 minute longer. And C. Honda, you went to Idaho Potato Museum and got free taters for out-of-staters. It was a package of instant mashed potatoes. Hey, I'll tell you what, dude. Instant mashed potatoes have saved my butt on more than one occasion, and they're good if you're gonna make like a cottage pie and you want to have them on top. They're good to help thicken soups in a pinch. Chefs actually use instant potatoes for secret things all the time. Hey, B, I don't know who you be, but I'm glad that you be here. Welcome into Chatter with Statter. Is this a potato stream? Well, yes. I mean, no. Yes, no. Yes, it turned into one, but only because we needed to stop talking about porn sites on Barbie boxes, because that got a little out of hand. But before that, we were talking about movies and other innocent things. And then before that, we were talking about, I don't really remember, but yeah, then we got on potatoes. It was our safe space. And Mama Sean antique stores. Oh, that's exactly where I need to go. I've just been hitting up thrift stores, but thrift stores are so hit and miss. I never even thought of. That's right, Pinnell. We were talking about dumplings first. Dumplings were first. Yes. So, oh, good, B. I think that you might be a new regular here on Chatter with Statter. As a general rule of thumb, we talk about anything and everything that doesn't really matter. So we're not going to talk about, we're not going to talk about a lot of stuff, but we are going to talk about potatoes or bacon or bees. We talk about bees. We talk about whales sometimes. We do. Today we talked about dumplings. We talked about dumplings today. And as Terry said, yes, our safe word here is potato. I'm not so sure that's 100% true, but it's absolutely one of our safe words. We do avoid the 3 cals here: political, cynical, and medical. That being said, generally when we say medical, it's not that you're not allowed to be like, oh, dude, I stubbed my toe and it hurts. That's cool. We just generally don't want to go down a path of giving medical advice that we know nothing of or the like. We just, whatever. And then B, but oh my God, B. Oh my God, B. You brought it full circle. Okay, you guys, we're 2 minutes at the bottom of the hour, so we have to close it out. And we're closing it out with this: potato plus dumpling equals pierogi. And we have now come full circle. So we will hopefully see each other Saturday. Oh, shoot, y'all. We will hopefully see each other Saturday, 6 p.m. on Twitch for Map Statter. And we're going to watch a movie. I don't know what movie. It's either the Muppet Movie, Frida, or Waterworld. So on Saturday at 6 p.m. on Twitch, Map Statter, We'll decide on Saturday. But if you want to hang out again, B, I'm looking at your situation. You want to hang out for a chat show again, Mad Statter, every Wednesday, every Sunday, 5 p.m. West Coast time. We have the chat show, which does this, and we talk about stuff. What stuff? All sorts of stuff. But on Saturdays, we watch a movie together. However, we watch it on a different channel for reasons. And that's a Twitch channel, and it is Map Statter instead of Mad Statter for reasons. And we're going to watch a movie 6 p.m. West Coast time if you want to track us down there. And it looks like Gina is open with ranked choice voting to maybe putting a half a vote pass to the Muppets. So it's looking like we might be most likely watching the Muppet movie on Saturday. So guys, get ready to see Kermit waving his hands and see Miss Piggy being all Miss Piggy-like. And don't forget to visit us over the rainbow. Saturday, 6 p.m. West Coast time, Twitch Map Statter. Sunday, 5 p.m. YouTube and Twitch Mad Statter. Thank you so much, y'all. Thank you, mods. Thank you, gift subbers. Thank you, resubbers. Thank you, all of you, for biddying. And most of all, thank you guys for all the awesome chat, because I had a whole show today that we didn't even touch because all y'all brought it. And I love it when all y'all bring it. And Puzzy, I am gonna be looking for Leo. Don't even worry about that. All right, you guys. Mahalo nui.